At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Welcome to the Author Your Brand Show. I'm your host, Doug Crow, and we are going to have a great time today talking about one of my favorite topics, which is, wait for it, I'm going to tell you in a second. It has to do with technology and humanity, which is they don't always get along. We're going to talk about that. Our guest today knows much more about this than most of us do. That's why I'm excited to talk with him. He's a vision-oriented leader, business executive, mentor, speaker. He's the author of renowned of expertise in international business, information technology, outsourcing, and cultural diversity. He's a globally experienced professional. He's a leader, mentor. He's an expert in creating a unique ecosystem of customers, partners, and service providers and professionals to deliver value-based IT solutions for business benefits to Fortune 1000, Global 1000 corporations. As a CEO, he's responsible for go-to-market strategies, business development, market penetration, advisor connect, sales, and revenue management. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our guest today, Dr. Saju Sakaria. How are you?
Doing wonderful, Doug. Thanks for having me.
You bet. My pleasure. We're going to talk at length about this, the two camps, right? There's the personal human side and the tech side, and why they don't always get along and why your solution is very unique with that. But before we do, I want to talk more about you. I just learned today, in fact, that you've got a military background. You're a veteran.
Yes, I do.
Wow. Well, thank you for your service. What did you do in the military?
I started my career as an Air Force officer, as a commissioned officer. Mm-hmm. And I have opportunity to work on people, that is enlisted people, my fellow officers, working on cutting edge technologies. Mm-hmm. To your point, Doug, in fact, there's a unique opportunity to work with people as well as technology. Mm-hmm. And if you know, military life is all about people. They care for people. Yeah. So all my career, I developed some strong empathy on my fellow beings, the pride for the nation, pride for the people around me. And I'll share more about when it comes to technology, how that positively impacted my career, and as well as I was able to help a lot of people in my journey through the technology world.
Nice. Very good. Okay. How long were you with the Air Force?
I was there for 12 years.
Oh my. Okay. Congratulations. Well, again, thank you for that. And then after getting out, you went right into business, or did you do anything else after that?
Oh, no. Actually, I have 3 phases to my career. Okay. I started as an Air Force officer. First phase was 12 years. And then I went into the industry. I worked some of the leading system integrators, starting from IBM, mm-hmm. Tata Consultancy Services, Infosys, and Xerox, and finally Capgemini. So these are the leaders in the industry, multi-billion dollar companies. Yeah. I was also fortunate to lead large teams and handle multi-billion dollar business along the way.
Wow.
So great opportunity to work. And I tell you, Doug, I'm very proud to talk about my military background. Mm-hmm. But the people orientation always played a very important element in my life, in the professional career, because what we develop is something called empathy. In fact, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella wrote a book on that topic, Hit Refresh, and all his theme was around empathy. Mm-hmm. So it's very dear to successful companies, how do you care? Yeah. And that empathy goes both in terms of your own team to your customers. Because end of the day, technology is nothing but an enabler. It is all about making changes to business, making change to the lives of people. So if you have that understanding how to translate those into technology, into the day-to-day activities of business or human being, that's where the life is getting better.
So we need to use technology and not let technology use us.
Exactly, that's the point. Yeah. It's an enabler. That's my point.
I love that. So working for these major Fortune 100 companies, tell me about your journey into the third phase, or entrepreneurism. How did you come up with that to go into on your own?
I would say it was a long dream I was holding on to some time. But then working with this larger corporation certainly enabled me to get there. So my final phase of my career, as I call it, is at this stage, I have 2 things in my mind. One is an entrepreneur, and I'm also try a lot about trying to be supporting people in various aspects of their life. Mm-hmm. I would say it's a philanthropy. So This
Yeah.
phase, I focus a lot about philanthropic efforts and entrepreneurship. So I'm involved in a couple of nonprofits, but even our own organization has a foundation which support people. So,
Nice. So you talking supporting people and being a servant leader, which you obviously are. You found that being an entrepreneur gave you more opportunities, or just different opportunities to do that.
I think if you look at anybody's professional career, entrepreneurship, the highest level I call it as, it carries a lot of risk. At the
Yeah.
same time, it also offers a lot of rewards. You are in an influential position to make changes to society at large.
Hmm.
And again, it's a time for give back. Okay, that's what I look at.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is a great opportunity to give back, and
Hmm.
you are influential in terms of making change to society at large. So I certainly consider this the right thing to do in life at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. So you went into this idea of giving back and serving nonprofits, being an entrepreneur and whatnot. What were some of the core skills you could bring from the corporate world into entrepreneurism?
Oh, I would say a couple of things are very important. First is your leadership capability,
Yeah.
and fortunately, I got trained from early stage of my career. I
Yeah.
also hold a doctorate in leadership as a
Hmm.
PhD. And so I've written extensively on the topic, maybe 300 plus articles. And I've been a practicing leader. It's not about theory, it's all about day to day. I was practicing working with the teams. So
Right.
that is an important element of any entrepreneur leadership. Second
Hmm.
thing is communication. Communication, there are multiple ways to communicate, in terms of reach out, in terms of written communication, verbal communication, or even in terms of your body
Yeah.
language, how you come around to your people. So important part is, a lot of people might find strange, but empathy and humility are two important elements in your personal life.
Nice.
Particularly when you're in a better situation as a leader, you need to be empathetic. You should be humble and
Hmm.
relevant.
I
So
love
these are
that.
certain quality, and then of course your technology skills, domain understanding. These are given. These are mandatory requirement to do that. But
Hmm.
then also to learn to delegate. Never assume as a leader, as an owner or an entrepreneur, saying that you have all the answers. Please
Yeah.
surround yourselves with the better people than you in the room. Never
Hmm.
assume that I have all the answers. Look
Yeah.
around, ask for guidance and inputs that makes a difference, so that
Hmm.
as a collective team, you become come out. Also, one of the leadership, and I talk a lot about servant leadership. I practice myself, but even when you're a servant leader, what that calls is that finally you take the final shot in terms of taking responsibility, and also learn to, if something goes wrong, take responsibility, take ownership, learn to give credit
Right.
to your team when it comes to some good thing happen. So that
Hmm.
way the team feel very empowered. They're not afraid to take decisions because they know something goes wrong, somebody in there to own it up. But
Yep.
if they do something good, there is someone there to support you.
That's
That's where you
right.
build your
Yeah.
teams, right? Yeah. And I
Yep.
learned this from military. I tell you, I give a lot of
Hmm.
credit to the armed forces around the world, what they've done the job.
Hmm. Nice. We started with the show talking about the differences between personal development and people skills and technology, and I love
Mhm.
what you said about that, about focusing on the customer experience. Because you're obviously very learned in management and IT stuff, but what are some of the core principles you do to bring these two worlds together? Where people talking bits and bytes and emotion and strategy. How do you bring those together?
You know, Maybe I'm slightly advanced. I'm trained deeply on hermeneutic phenomenology. That
Hmm.
is to understand the inner meaning of life, the as is and to be condition of a human being. So
Hmm.
I can fairly judge people when I deal with them. Are they talking the truth, whatever the case may be, right? That
Hmm.
makes a difference. And and always approach a person or persons with a positive mindset. Never make an assumption somebody is wrong unless they prove otherwise. This is
Right.
an important quality. We work with the customer or your team members. Never think that they are at the wrong side. Always give a credit. They
Hmm.
may be right, and also trying to understand before being understood. What I meant is that have an open communication, have a protocol in which you listen to people. Empathetic listening is very important. You don't be judgmental. Listen to the people, understand. And particularly in a services industry where we deal with a lot of customers, everybody may not be the same situation. Important thing also need to learn that the customer may not be right all the time. So a lot of people have a thing in that customer is always right. I have a contrarian view on the topic. I say customer may not be right. But then you should be very honest and candid about why you are singing certain way. Because the moment you show your integrity, moment you show that this is the right thing for you, they'll trust you more. Never try to please a customer because they want to listen certain answers. Never do that.
Right.
Probably
I
you
like
might
that.
probably you might get a little initial negative. Why this guy is challenging me? But then long run they understand. I can trust this person because I'm not giving a solution just because I want certain things. Any customer, particularly in service industry, I'll expand a little bit more, Doug. Any customer hiring you for a reason because they expect a certain level of expertise from the consulting organization. And if you're just trying to give all the answers that what they're looking for, that's not the point. Probably a lot of customers don't even know what they don't know. What you don't know yet. That's your job to unravel those details, explain to them why it's important to you, and also show a longer vision. It's not tactical near-term gain. Because we work with a lot of customers. I can tell you without naming an example, we are working with a customer. They wanted a certain solution. But in our due diligence, we learned that that solution may not be appropriate. Probably I could have continued the project immediately, but I said, no, that's not the right thing to do. We explained to the customer why it's important for you. Maybe go to a process automation, robotic process automation, some advanced technology, because that's the world is moving in. So instead of using a spreadsheet to something superior, so we decided to forego our immediate earning rather than we told the customer this is what you need to do. But today is a loyal customer to me because he understood. Our intent was to help them for a longer period and moving with the technology. That's why I said the human angle is important. Again, I always repeat, technology is nothing but a tool to enable your business, enable the people.
Yeah. I like you said, customer's not always right. And I have an extension of that. Customer's not always right, but the customer is always a customer. So,
Yeah.
They may not be right, but they are the ones that are paying your bills.
We always respect the customer. And if you truly respect a customer, tell the truth.
Yep.
That's what I meant by that. And I can tell you, initially it might seem as a challenge, but the true customer will understand what you're trying to accomplish.
Yep, absolutely right. So what do you think is driving, in terms of the technology, we've seen so much advancement in technology, specifically AI the past year or two. And it seems to be taking over a lot of conversations and whatnot, and people are leaning into the technology so much so that I feel as though we're losing our ability to connect with human beings. What's your take on that in terms of as we embrace more technology, how do we retain our humanity while we do that?
Many people have different opinion. I do believe that humanity will always stay on top of the game because I tell you, we were an agrarian society. Then if you know that the industrialization came into play, so the horse and buggies moved with the cars. It's a lot of concern. What will happen to that? Then cars become a normal. Now, if you look at today, it's EV has come in. When computers originally came in, people are worried we are going to lose jobs. In fact, the job got multiplied. Now, there is an uncertainty around what will happen AI is going to bring to the industry. My take is that there may be a momentary time being uncertainty around it, but this is going to generate a lot more new jobs and the life of people are going to be better because, the routine, rudimentary work we today do, that can be changed to become automated.
Right.
I can see 10 years from now, the quality of life will be way superior.
Yeah.
But one thing you should watch for when you implement AI-related work, you need to make sure that, the compliance, the security, IPs, these are all protected. So there has to be some governance. I'm not saying that everything should be too open.
Yeah.
It should be implemented in such a way that all these issues are addressed. I've written extensively on the topic, multiple articles are written. But I can tell you this, That's the way it's going to be. So our life is going to be a lot better. And even countries where today they are deprived of some of these benefits, the underprivileged countries, they're going to come up faster. It is going to be a lot more level playing field. So the world is going to be a better place, in my opinion.
Right.
While a lot of people are skeptical, what will happen to the society? What are you going to lose job? But
Yeah.
this is, if you look at the history from maybe agrarian society to industrialist society to now we call it maybe the next generation, things are going to get better. In my mind, there's no uncertainty around it.
I'm an optimist too. I think that's a very fair statement that, there might be, like I think our friend Mohan said, there's disruption, there'll be chaos, but it'll be short-lived in the big scheme of things. It'll come out ahead, just like you said, agrarian, industrial information, whatever this is going to be called in the future. It's always a rising tide that's going to lift all ships. It might be a little bit rocky for a little bit, but it'll work itself out. I like that.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah.
I saw a post on social media a couple weeks ago. It says, talk about, AI taking away creative jobs, like, writing, art, music, but it still hasn't figured out how to like do my dishes or do my laundry. It'd be nice to have the AI and robotics focus on those lower level tasks first and save the creative work for humans. But, we'll have to wait for the robots to get a little more accessible, I suppose.
Yeah. It will enable part of the writing process, but at the same time, your original art, original painting, original writing will all stay the same.
Yeah.
But you may get a lot more production or productivity, but routine writing too many emails can become a lot more easier. But
for the short form stuff,
is going to stay the same. Yeah.
Yeah. I've mentioned plenty of people that we use it to help us spin title ideas, subtitle ideas for our books. But when it comes to telling a person's story, we still depend upon a journalist and a really good ghostwriter to capture that person's voice and make them sound as good, if not better than they really are. Because long form content is, AI is great for short form for sure, but the long form stuff, it's not as set up for that today.
Doug, I was reading James' book yesterday. Beautiful work. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Very ripping story and beautifully written. I put my comment in Amazon too. What I felt is that those stories are very powerful. It's come out of his heart, right?
Yeah.
You can't change that. Yeah.
No, you can't. That's part of my TEDx talk is you can't. AI cannot be responsible. It has no experience. It has no heart, no soul. There's some things that are purely human that in the foreseeable future, it cannot do. And the responsibility is a big one right now because people are depending on this tool. But don't forget, at the end of the day, your name's on it. So you better make sure you check the output.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us more about what you're doing, what you're working right now, not the nonprofit, but the business side. What's your main thing you're focusing on right now to help people out?
Okay. We work on multiple things, Doug. In fact, in terms of technology, we are a business consulting and technology IT service organization.
Right. Yeah.
Our company is headquartered in Phoenix, Arizona, but we have a presence across US. We have office in Middle East. We have office in India. We also tie up in Asia Pacific and even Latin America. Because I have running multi-billion business before, we are going to expand our business very rapidly, supporting the team. So we work on, as I mentioned, consulting one area. Then we work on data and analytics. We do on business applications. We work on cloud and applications and services and customer experience. So it's like a full-fledged system integrator organization. We also tied up with leading system integrators as a partners. So there is no issue of scaling it up. Any large opportunity we can take on and move it. And our leadership team has come from top 5 consulting organizations. So we have an extremely robust team positioned to take on any challenge and supporting customers.
I love
it. The question always comes to our mind, there are so many companies, how to differentiate. So I said, our customer empathy, employee empathy is core. So the people orientation extremely prime. We make sure that our customers get unparalleled experience in terms of providing. And then, of course, we are very nimble, so we can be price cost effective, and also we can turn around things fast.
Nice.
And because we work on AI and cloud and related technologies, our turnaround time is quicker and our results are much faster. That's what
I
I
love
do.
that. How do people get a hold of you?
Okay, you can reach my first name, last name at digitechserve.com. That is sarju.scurry at digitechserve.com. Or you can go to our website to send a message across, and I'm pretty available. And my
That's great.
mobile number is 602-758-9982. I know it's trouble. I get a lot of calls, but I'm at service, so I'm good with it.
I love the accessibility, Sarju. That's great. That's important. And by the way, if you didn't catch it, folks, it's below here on the you can see the screen. We put his show notes and his contact information right below. So click below if you're looking to do some high level technology integration and make sure you got the humanity with your IT stuff. Dr. Zakaria is the one to go for that. So I appreciate you having on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doug. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you.
There we go.